Okay, today we're going to make some Tuscan style chicken. We're going to serve it over pasta. We'll start with some chicken breasts. We're going to add some chopped peppers and onions. These are mild sweet peppers. I've got a small yellow pepper and a couple of small red peppers. I have a half of a red onion here diced. We've also got garlic. We've got a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Now, if you don't have sun-dried, you can certainly chop up just regular tomatoes and use those, or cherry tomatoes. And we're going to start, in addition to the chicken, we're going to have some bacon, so that'll give this a nice smoky flavor. We're also going to add a little smoked paprika and a little dash of mustard, a little dash of Worcestershire. I've got some fresh herbs, basil, oregano, parsley. We're going to chop up some green onion and some celery. At the end of the cooking process, we're going to add in some heavy cream and we're going to add grated Parmesan. If you want to, you can additionally add other cheeses such as mozzarella, provolone, ricotta, whatever you prefer. So let's get started. Okay, now here's our chicken. You can cook these individually and brown them and then add them to the sauce. Or you can do what I'm going to do today, which is to chop these into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to add the other ingredients and make a sauce all in one step, which I think is a lot easier and a lot quicker if you're feeding a hungry family. It's easy to chop because these are still slightly frozen. But as you can see, they're like in bite-sized pieces now. So let's go ahead and throw these into our pan and start cooking. I have a pot of water boiling for the pasta. And I've got a basket inside, so it'll be easier to remove it and drain it. So while we're waiting for that to heat up, let's start cooking our chicken and our sauce. Okay, we have our pan heating over a medium-high heat. Going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to add some butter. And let that kind of merge together. Okay, once it's sort of melted, we're going to add our chicken. Now, I do not salt and pepper my chicken. My philosophy is it's always easier to add salt and pepper at the end of cooking if you'd like it. Once you've added too much salt, it's impossible to remedy, and I don't like food that's too salty. So I'm going to just add chicken with no salt or pepper on it. Okay, so we've got our plain chicken, unsalted. It's still a little bit frozen. We're going to just cook this for a couple of minutes. And it's partially frozen, but it's chopped, so it won't take it too long to thaw out. Like I said, if you'd like, you can add salt and pepper, but I prefer to add salt and pepper at the end of cooking. Food that's too salty is really not good for you and it doesn't taste good. And once you cook without adding salt, you won't go back to salting and over-salting your food. And we've got our pasta water boiling there. It's not quite boiling yet. Not yet. Almost, but not quite. Because it's not going to take long. This is going to be a quick meal to make once you get everything together. We're going to cook our chicken. We're going to add our other ingredients. Boil the pasta, and then we'll be ready to eat. Very quick. Quick and easy meal. I've chopped my herbs finely together here. This is the parsley, basil, and oregano, and I just chopped them coarsely together. I've only used half of this container of sun-dried tomatoes. I took about half and I chopped those very finely. Alright, our chicken is just about done. We just sauteed it for a few minutes here. Now we're going to add the bacon. Stir that around until it's cooked. You could use pancetta instead of regular bacon. That would probably make a nice, more authentic Italian meal for you. But bacon works just fine. Actually, it would have been better if I would have started with the bacon and then added the chicken, but I don't know. Use your judgment and see what you think. You can start with the bacon or start with the chicken. It's working out all right here. The bacon's cooking up nicely. Okay, we're going to start adding our vegetables. There's our peppers and onions. Those require a little more cooking time than some of the other vegetables. So that is our half of a red onion and the red and yellow peppers. And we're just going to stir this until they get a little bit of a softening to the vegetables. It doesn't take long. 2-3 minutes at the most. You could chop your vegetables more finely if you like. I kind of like to have strips in my finished dinner, so I didn't chop these too finely. Okay, now we're going to add the celery and green onions. Same thing, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes to let these celery and green onions get a little bit of softness to them. Next we're going to add in our garlic. You don't want to add in the garlic too early because the garlic will tend to burn a little more quickly than the other vegetables. So this is a good point to add your garlic. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. Doesn't need to be such a high heat at this point. Now we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes. And this particular bottle of sun-dried tomatoes that I got had some Italian herbs in it also, so that'll help flavor this nicely. So we've added our sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to add just a little touch of mustard, not a lot. Maybe a quarter of a teaspoon or half a teaspoon. And a little bit of smoked paprika, probably about a half a teaspoon. Going to really give it a nice flavor and color. The very last thing we're going to add is the fresh herbs because they're delicate and they're aromatic and we don't want the flavor to cook completely out. So we're going to add those at the very end. Shaping up quite nicely. Looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to add in our herbs. Parsley, basil, oregano. These are all nice and fresh. Of course, if you don't have fresh, you can use dried herbs. You can use Italian seasoning. And most recipes for Tuscan chicken call for spinach because it's so nice to see that that green contrasting with the red. But for me, I'm not a big fan of spinach, and I like for my green to be parsley and basil. So there, the herbs are stirred in just slightly, very slightly cooking them, not too much. Next, we're going to add our cream, or half and half. A little dash of Worcestershire. Worcestershire or soy sauce give every dish just a really nice, deep richness to the flavor. So I always add Worcestershire or soy sauce, depending on the dish. This is a Mediterranean dish, so we're going with the Worcestershire. And now we will add our cream. So about a cup or so of cream, or half and half. And here's where it gets delicious. Because of course everything is better with cream. And if you want to make this a little saucier, you could add some chicken broth or a little white wine. Next, we're going to put our Parmesan cheese. Okay, we're going to add in about a half a cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano. And that is really all the cheese you need to add, but I am going to also add a little bit of ricotta because I just love what it does for a sauce. Okay, we're going to add our pasta into the boiling water. This is just going to take 2 minutes. Break it up a little bit. According to our package directions, this is fresh pasta and it only requires 2 minutes to cook. So I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. Our sauce is ready. Nice and thick and creamy. I think this dinner is going to be a winner. Okay, back to our pasta. It's going to require another minute and a half or so of boiling. Okay, our 2 minutes is up. The pasta looks delicious. We're going to take it out and drain it and serve. Alrighty, so here is the finished product. We're going to spoon some over the pasta. And doesn't that look beautiful? Dinner for two is served. This is actually enough to serve 4 people. I've got a whole couple other servings in here, more pasta, and here is the finished dish. Okay, there it is in all its glory, Tuscan chicken for dinner.